Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Srinivas.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry for the late.
It's okay. It's okay. I think we start the recording.
Yeah. Started.
Mostly today would be the last class.
Okay.
So, let me share my screen. You're able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have doubt on any of these topics, like whatever we discussed?
No, clear.
Clear, right? Understandable. Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever we, so you remember, right? We create a hello world is a bean, which is in which we have added a couple of methods. We are performing something, right?
Yeah.
We have a callback mechanism related to initializing and destroying. You know, right? When I say initializing, it is at the time of like performing like the loading of the bean. So it's kind of like initialization setup, right? That is going to be where the destroy means. So when you're destroying, when you're done with the activity, okay. We have two kind of callback classes. Means callback means so the name is giving something information that is going to call back automatically. That means we are not going to call that particular method. When we configure initialization bean to your particular bean, it's going to be called automatically. That's so and so method whatever we are referring. So initializing callback is an interface which is having only a single method. Because it's an interface, obviously how you can integrate with your method, you need to implement your Java class this initializing interface. Once you implement, so you're supposed to override that particular method. So that is the method, right? In the theoretical terms, look, it's a callback which is going to be called automatically. How it's going to be called? Because this is an interface, and this interface we are going to implement to our Java class. Once you implement that interface to your class, so what all the methods which are defined in that interface, you are supposed to provide a logic in general for any interface. But here we are having only one method. That method we are going to provide implementation here, right? So this method, whatever you perform the logic here, this is purely for writing initialization work. So when I say initialization work, anything which you require the pre-setup kind of thing. So loading of a connection or loading of files and setting up some basic things, what are the things? All the things which can be like this is the place where you can write that kind of a logic. Got it, right?
Okay.
In the same way, destroying callback. So destroying callback means, so if you want to perform anything, so you can go for the destroying callback. So we have a bean called DisposableBean. This is called initializing.
Okay.
Initialize this. Destroying callback means DisposableBean is the actual physical interface which is going to be which you need to implement for your class. Once you implement that class, you have a single method. So which is a method which is going to help us in writing all the logic related to destroy. So destroy means closing of your connections or the closing of the files or anything. You can see it as a cleanup activity. You need to write all the kind of a logic in the disposable bin.
Okay.
Right? These are two interfaces are given for both the purposes. One is for initialization, one is for destroying activity. You just need to implement them and start using them. They'll be giving us some default methods. So in that you need to write a logic.
Got it.
So this is the same bin class, right? So what I'll do, I'll just let me see demo. I'm just running existing function to see whether it's working or not.
Okay.
So loading bin. When we did this, bin got loaded successfully. What we'll do, we'll implement initializing bin. Implements initializing bin. So initializing bin is not part of this package, so hence it's failing in import.
Okay.
So the error here, you'll be having two errors. So import. Once it is imported, the next error. So add and implement methods. So public void after property set is a method name which is the default method name from the initializing method. So whatever you provide here, it will be act as initializing logic.
Okay, after property set method.
After property set. So yes, so that when I implement automatically, it came the override annotation. You remember,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah, I remembered.
This one, okay. I'm just putting MSS, but usually you can write any kind of logic which is for act as initialization. Okay. So did we call this method manually? No, right?
No.
So because it's a callback, so automatically whenever it says that something is happening, it automatically calls those things.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm invoking a bean 2 times. How many times it executed?
Only once.
Because initialization can be done only once. If you remember the servlets and right?
Yeah.
Because
The init method it will okay, initialize only once.
That's it. We classify it as init. Otherwise, if it is a regular logic, we'll execute it for each and every request. These are the initialization things which are supposed to be done only once, and those are marked as a callback methods, and then there'll be a separate messages provided. Here, the method name they have given as initializing bin.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Understood.
The same way, you have a for the destroying activity, you have disposable. As usual, the same import statement and the corresponding method and an implemented. There are some many cases that you not need to remember the methods. If you know the class name, something is there, you can search for that and you can just do that.
Okay.
So destroy is a method name, which is a callback method which is going to for the disposable activity.
Okay.
I'm just putting a message, but you can write any logic here.
Anything, okay.
What is the logic? Upper. How we have looked. Okay. So we have taken here the application context. So application context is like, so it doesn't have the callback event for the destroy activity. So you need to mark that as an abstract application context. So you need to take the abstract application context at the top level. Let me take
Okay.
right. Here itself will do it directly. I'm running. Alright. So for the regular kind of thing, so for initialization, it will invoke directly, but for the destroying activity, you cannot done directly. So what you have to do, you have to go for an abstract application context, which is a base class of this one. So inside that, there is a method called register shutdown hook. Means, so you are asking, the shutdown is kind of like a destroying activity, right? You
Yeah.
are enabling that register a shutdown hook. So once you enable this, only it executes this methods in your bin.
Okay.
This method and this method we have not executed. Both are executed by the Spring automatically. The callback methods. So initialization can be done directly whenever you configure, whenever you implement any class. But for the destroy activity, you need to make sure that one more property, one more flag has to be set, something like this. So register shutdown hook. So then it's going to invoke the destroy activity automatically.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So this is for the initialization. Want to go for initialization and the destroy, you can go for this kind of a method. If you implement this one, you're supposed to override this method, and if you implement the other one, you're supposed to override this method.
Okay.
Yep.
Clear.
These are the callback methods. So like Spring has also given a provision that instead of going for those callback methods, I can name some method name as an init method. I can name some method name as a destroy method. Something different, right? The Spring is given as some default name. So if framework is giving something default inside the writing logic is as usual.
Okay.
But here is also given a provision that so if you do not wish to use my method, no problem. You can mark any method as init method, and you can mark any method as destroy method. Let's say
Okay.
hello. Hello is my init method. I can write my one more method hi. I can say hi as a destroy method.
Oh, okay.
These
So
are
we can name we can name it as anything.
any method. So
Okay.
if you name
Okay.
something, then how does the Spring know? Obviously, it has to know, right? So
Okay. Yeah.
say hello is my init method. Spring has to know, right? So you are feeding that hello is init method. So okay, configure it. So how do you configure? In your configuration, when you're configuring the bean, so we have a property called init method property and destroy method property. Two properties which needs to be mentioned on your Spring configuration file, that is the beans XML file. Okay, as and when the property name, whatever you configure with that name, in case if it finds any method, execute that method as part of that particular. I'll say that. Obviously, this is not a existing method, right?
Yeah.
So now I would like to perform this method like whenever the initialization is done, and this one is for whenever the destroy activity is done. I'm going to comment the existing ones. This is when you're going for the callback. Just commented those things. Now your class is the old code, right? What are the functionality? So we just added two methods. So when you run your method, nothing is going to happen because you have not configured.
Yeah.
So these are something like the methods which are in your class, but you have not instructed that this is my init method, this is my destroy method, right?
Yeah, just we okay, just we wrote that.
It's kind of like another method which you usually make for the business purpose. So go to your bean and here type one method equal to what is the method name? Destroy method equal to what is the method, that's all. I'll just copy the method name to what type of issue. Alright. Now I just informed the container Spring container that whenever you load a bean, make sure that this is the init method and this is the destroy method. So when you pass information to the Spring, so automatically these methods are going to be executed whenever the initialization has to be done. Right? I'm running. Unit is being called, destroy is being called, right? So now if we enable both in the sense, this one we enable that both are going to work because multiple things you are configuring.
Yeah.
See, first the callback is going to be fired. After that, your init method is going to be fired, and then the destroy callback is going to be called. After that, destroy method is fired. But usually, we'll keep only one. Either you go for this kind of mechanism if you are willing to write a direct implementation into Java class. Otherwise, the second option is we go for this kind of a configuration file. So whenever I wish, I'll just remove it, other kind of mark it enable, right? So both options are valid. So it's all depends on the requirement. How do you wish to go? Okay. If you go for both, so this is how the order of execution. First, the callback is going to be called, and then the actual init method. Destroy callback is going to be called, and the destroy method. Here, so observe that.
Yeah.
So here we invoked multiple times. Still, they executed only because those are like meant for initializing a destroy activity. Those will be done only once.
Okay.
At the life of a bean. Right. So any step if you take, it's only once, as long as that bean is in the like available state, right?
Yeah. Understood.
Clear?
Clear.
And one more thing, yeah, this configuration file, right? We have again some method, right? Assuming that, so what happens? I remove these methods. In the Spring configuration file, I informed that this is my init method, this is my destroy method. But by mistake, I have not coded. So what happens here? Any guesses? I said Spring, this is my init method, but I'm not giving that init method in my code.
Oh yeah.
So I just commented, right?
Yes.
Any guess what happens?
It won't work.
Obviously, it cannot find the method, right?
Yeah.
Rather than creating with the bean name so and so Differnce. So
yeah, that's
it's not able to find the respective method. So when you're configuring, so make sure to inform that. When it's not there, that's bad.
Okay.
So
which is init method, which is destroy method.
Destroy method.
Okay, we need to intimate that.
Yes. This is your configuration file, right? So right now we have created only one Java class, but in reality, we might write hundreds of Java classes, right?
Okay, yeah.
So hundreds of Java classes we write. So obviously for each and every Java class or most of the Java classes, we feel that this should be the initialization activity, this should be the destroy activity, right? That means for any Java class, we have something to clean up and something to destroy. Most of the cases at least, right? So instead of configuring this method in individual Java classes, so here if I'm writing 10 beans means for all those 10 beans, I have to write init method and destroy method, right?
Yes.
So when we are working in a project, we follow the same naming convention. Means if it is Java class A, I follow the init method. Suppose I named as init method as my init method. Method. Obviously, in the second Java class also, I follow the same my init method and my destroy method, right? I'm not going to give multiple names because so we follow some convention in. So that means irrespective of the number of classes, usually follow the same naming convention, provided the developer is same. Otherwise, if some other developer comes, he might give some other name, right? Then the whole is leader, the project coordinator, is going to instruct that make sure to follow only the single naming convention. And these are the names you need to follow. Some instructions going to come. Ideally, we'll follow the same naming convention, right? So in 10 Java classes, I might have init method and destroy methods are same. So instead of mentioning this init method and destroy method in each individual classes, so what I can do, I can mark them, I can specify them as a container level, means the here. I'm just cut to think. We have a different property, so I'm just referring to this one. So property names are default init method, default destroy method. So default init method, default destroy method. So we have configured the main tag level, right? So beans tag is a main tag. Under that, we are going to configure all the beans, right?
Oh yeah.
So we have configured the main top level. That means whatever the settings he had done here, the settings are applicable to all the beans inside.
Oh, that's why you specified the init method and destroy method there. Okay.
Yes. So I want all my beans I have the same initialization method. So what I did, instead of writing individual things, I'll just configure at one level. Just my convenience, right?
Oh, then it is public. Okay, then accessible to all Java classes.
Accessible. This is accessible to all the beans that you configure here.
Yeah.
On the Java classes, what are the beans that you are planning to configure here? This property will be applicable.
Yeah.
So same init destroy, right?
Yeah.
Same is going to be called. So suppose here for all the beans, whatever wherever it finds something, it's going to be called automatically. So I just made something observed. I commented something. So let's say I commented these two init and destroy. The same way that we did for earlier. When we run, this time there was no issue, right?
Yeah.
So these are the tentative kind of information that, so these are the init methods and destroy methods. So if you find these method names, execute it. If it doesn't find these methods, do not force anything on this method, on the Java class.
Oh, okay.
Got it, right? The previous case, when we configured the bean level, so when we are talking about the particular person, the person has to obey those rules, right?
Oh yeah.
But now
Yes.
we are not talking about particular person. In this room, there are many persons can, right? That means can be.
Okay.
So some beans, if the particular developer is introduced with the same naming convention, it might work. So if it's not the case, it should not give any issue because it's not able to find that method. So hence we'll continue with the remaining method execution.
Okay.
Suppose I just
Does not matches it's not going to show any error.
Exactly, yeah, that's the point. So here I just added only in method. Even some other Java class, I'll just add only destroy method. Usually we'll add both. Point here to highlight here is even though it doesn't have the method, it's not going to give us an issue. Okay, but in reality we'll write both.
Okay.
So I commented one of the things we observed, right? This one I commented destroying activity from the regular init method. Once enable, Automatic. So all these things are happening automatically based on the life cycle of the callback mechanism. Yes?
Yeah.
So any doubts on the topics as of now before jumping onto the new topic?
No, clear.
Clear it? Can you give me 5 minutes? Okay.
Okay.
Just come back. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
No.
Srinivas?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done. You're ready? Yeah. If you're middle of something, we can wait.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So both things are clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever heard the word like web services?
I heard the word, that's it.
Okay. So any additional information about it, like why we go for web services?
No,
Okay.
I'm totally new.
Okay. So web services is like it's a client server kind of application or application kind of a component. Communication between the two devices over the network.
Okay.
It's a software system for interoperable machines to machine. And it's a collection of like it has like various kind of definition. and it's a kind of like collection of standard protocols for exchanging information between the two devices. Primarily, the web service is like, so we are a Java developer. We do some service, we develop some service, right? So some other technology with your related developer, let's say Microsoft developer, they might develop some service. So we want, let's say Microsoft people developed one Unix service. We wanted to use that service. So we wanted to have the similar kind of functionality in our project. Ideally, what
Okay.
to do? So we need to code the same logic in Java, right? That's how it works, right? In real time for any kind. So that function itself, it took like a couple of years to develop the logic. So we are not going to spend the same kind of amount of time to reinvent the same thing, right? Because it's working and it's in well-established condition. So what we can do instead of writing, so if it is a simple program, we can spend a night and we can write it. If it is a huge complex thing which requires a lot of things to, a lot of man hours and a lot of things are going to be required, then it will be tedious kind of task. So we are not going to do the same thing once again. And here I'm talking about Microsoft and Java. So if from any technology to any technology, we are not going to recode everything.
Oh yeah.
So if we want to reuse it, we can go for the web services. Means how it has to is in the web services, we can talk to different technologies.
Okay.
Let's say a particular technology developer some functionality, and if that functionality you want to share with someone else, what you can do, you have to mark that the method, the functionality as a web services. Once you mark that as a web services, so anybody from any technology can talk to the particular technology, they can communicate. So here there are some standard protocols is going to work in the background, but ideally from the technology perspective, it's going to be transparent for the user. So from Java, you can directly give a request to the web services which is developed in Microsoft. Okay, not only Microsoft, any technology. So this is a general thing. You can talk to and from with the web services which are developed in different cases, you can communicate between the web services from any technology to any technology. It can be anything.
Okay.
That's how the web service is going to be work.
Understood.
Real-time example if we take. So you might be seeing the weather information, right?
Yeah.
Most of the times we watch website weather information how it's good to like just to have the better idea.
Yeah.
So you might see the same weather information in different websites, not only single website, right? We can
Yes.
website 1, website 2, website 3, anything website. So are they really doing that calculation? Means what I meant to say, are they really getting that web service and that weather information on their own? No, right?
No.
They are going to contact some central department where actually they publish the weather report, and those guys are just displaying that information in that website.
Yes.
So this is just one example.
So using web services, they do like that.
Exactly. So ideally, they're not going to do everybody. So let's say how it has to happen in the manually. So if I'm the web services one maintain, if I'm maintaining the website one, so either I have to call the particular department to get the what is the current report of the current weather report, and I need to update the system. So if I'm doing this kind of a manual, actually what happens may not be the live data, right? So I might get delayed. So anything can happen. So here the information may not be accurate. So if the manually if you are doing something, maybe by the time you are recording, this person is not available to share the weather report. So after the clients whoever is accessing my website, they may not get the actual updates. So then they start good relying on my website, right? The content seems to be inactive. We want something the live connectivity where we pull the live information. So what the weather department, they publish their weather report as a web service. So this is the information I'm going to publish. So they'll just publish it. So whoever is having authorization to that web information, they simply get that information and everything will be done in their program using the web service. So they can get this information, they can display on their website whatever they want. They want in the format. Some guys display the the some information in the top and some information in the left. So it all depends on how they wish to format, because they'll get the raw data. Means this is the temperature, this is how it is. So the presentation is like one side depends on the particular website. Got it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you take another example, the reservations, flight reservations. So if you go to a specific vendor, so in any particular vendor, if you take Indigo or SpiceJet or anything, so you can see the flights available only in that particular site, right? But suppose if you log into SpiceJet website, so you see the flights only specific to SpiceJet, right?
Yes.
If you log into something else, Singapore Airlines, you obviously can see the flights which are available only for that Singapore Airlines. But if you log into Make My Trip or an Athletics, so
it will show all the things.
All the things. How they are talking? Are they rating? Are they rating the logic to fetch information from the Indigo, Singapore Airlines, or British? No, right? They have each and every the authorization, the alien authorization. They have provided a web service. They'll publish their information. Indigo has provided these are our flights information. So that they'll provide it's a simply kind of a methods. If you provide the between dates and source and destination, so they'll be having a method and they'll return this. These are the list of flights available having the vacancies for any flight vendor. So these are the consolidated kind of travel agents. So there they'll give a request. The individual web services call, they'll give a request to all the vendors and they'll get that information. They'll consolidate here. So for us, should have. So we might not know all the websites of all the flights, right? So sometimes we might miss. So for the other, if you log in for any of this kind of thing, it's going to give a consolidated information from all the flights. Right? So all because of the web services in the background. So the particular so here British Airways might follow one other technology. So maybe some other airlines follow some other technology, but they are returning the data in a web services format. So we are just consolidating that data and we are entering into our website. Right? So here we're not everything. So there is already something in place. We just reuse that.
Okay. Understood.
But we have two types of web services available: SOAP and REST. SOAP is nothing but simple object access protocol. SOAP means nothing but simple object access protocol, and REST means representation state transfer. That means one is a protocol by name itself. Protocol, right? HTTP we call it as a protocol. FTP we call it as a protocol as the standards, right? Whenever you browse anything, so usually we type www, but in the background, so it will be defined as HTTP. Means HTTP is nothing but hypertext transfer protocol. Same way, SOAP is also classified as a protocol. Okay, but it's one of the web services type. Nothing but representation state transfer. So this is not a protocol. This is kind of like architectural behavior. Okay? These are the two types of web services which are available in Java. Okay.
In Java we are having only these two web services.
These two types.
Oh, these two types. Okay.
Here, SOAP is completely based on the XML based kind of thing. So we need to configure everything about the SOAP in the XML. Okay. So
we need
the SOAP, you need to configure everything about that particular website, the particular service in a detailed format in a XML file. So what that exactly contains, what you are going to send, what is the type of what is the data type of that particular thing. So and what you are going to get, what is the data type of that, and what is the response of what is the request object. All this kind of information that you need to provide in the XML file. Okay, the XML file is, when you look at it for the first time, it's going to be messy because it's going to have a lot of information. what is the data type, what is the return type, and all this information. Whereas when you are doing the rest, you do not have anything about that particular thing. Here is going to call, you are going to call in a simple way as if like an API. You are not going to provide anything specific to the service in the XML. So
we're not providing anything specific to the service.
So the training flags information on service, right? So what are the inputs and what are the outputs and what is the data type?
Yeah, we are not giving anything. Yes,
we are supposed to give for the source.
I mean, we are not giving means we are just using already. We are using data already present.
Yes, but when you say like we wanted to use the data, that is a different format. You are a different format, right? So
yeah.
Some common understandable format that I'm sending integer. Right? So I might get something different, right? So in Java, integer how I call it as int.
Yeah.
Microsoft it might be something different, right?
Yeah.
So let's say in Microsoft sending a data, web services data, so it might be in the some character format. So in Java, the character format is something classified as a string, right? So it's kind of like a mutual transformation. Like your data type and that data type is not matched, but the ideal purpose is both are strings, but they doesn't know, right? That would tell that that's where the types. So this is your type, and this is my type, and this is input, and that's the output, and all this information we are going to mention about the service in the detailed manner. So that's the example that you are going to configure in the SOAP. Whereas for the rest, you do not need to go for anything as such. The rest is more easy than the SOAP. Okay.
Okay.
So when you are working with the SOAP, so we set up an XML file. That XML file, we call it as a WSDL file. So this one. What is WSDL? Web Services. So by name itself is telling that web services description language. In this WSDL file, you are going to describe about your service.
Oh, okay.
When I say describe means I'm going to talk about that particular service.
Okay, instead of doing that in the SOAP,
SOAP is a type. Rest is a type. So while working with the SOAP, you need to configure, you need to map everything in the WSDL file.
Oh yeah, got it.
Is a type name, but actually it's an XML file. So that's the XML I just referred here. XML,
I mean, we are not using the XML file just now. Up to now, we use that. We are using this WSDL.
WSDL is a type of a file, but actually it's an XML file only.
Yeah.
So
okay.
The XML contains the information about the web services, right?
Yeah.
So that means what we already we are describing something in that XML about my web services. Clear?
Yes. Yes.
But it's called as web services description language. So another acronym name they have given as WSDL.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Clear.
The layman terms, it's an XML file, but in that XML file, you are going to talk about web services. Means what is input, what is output, so what is the number, what is the binding information, all this information. That's
okay.
The web services description language, WSDL file. The technical terms we call it WSDL file, but ideally it's an XML file. Means you are going to talk about the method name, method parameters, and how to work it, all these things. And some guys usually spell this as WSDL.
I didn't get you.
Like usually WSDL, right? So
yeah.
Then it's common habitat. Some guys used to spell as WSDL.
Okay, WSDL.
WSDL. Okay.
Okay.
It's the term. So just like a habit of using the word. Okay.
Okay, WSDL.
So UDDI. UDDI is nothing but universal description. UDDI is nothing but it's a universal description, discovery, and integration. It's a kind of a directory service where we can register all our web services. Usually, it will, let's say, if you the different flight vendors, they have coded their web services, right? So we'll register all those web services in the UDDI. Once they register in that case, in the UDDI, it's a kind of like a directory service. It's a yellow pages kind of thing. Where they'll register that I'm having web services. If you want to know the flights availability and any information about Singapore Airlines, you just use this web service in web services. So like that, they just publish that. So anybody wish to use that particular service, they'll just go for that particular by downloading that particular service into their local. They'll configure everything, but they'll have a establishment. They're going to establish a relation between that particular vendor. Yeah.
Okay.
UDDI is just a placeholder where it's kind of like yellow pages in the directory service where anybody can post a service there when you register some service there, and anybody they can get a service from there. The placeholder just by registering and pulling that information. Got it?
Got it.
So the difference between the SOAP and REST. So by this time, any idea like what are the differences between the SOAP and REST? SOAP is a protocol. REST is a architecture kind of a style. So
This is a protocol. I know that.
REST
But
is
REST?
architectural style. It is not a
Architecture.
protocol.
Okay.
By the words, it is called representation state transfer. RE means representation, S means state, and T means transfer. But it comes under. It will not come under a protocol. It comes under the architectural style. Means it's a style of designing your project in the architecture.
Yeah, got it.
Architectural style. SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol that we know, and REST transfer, representational state transfer.
Okay.
So SOAP cannot use REST because it's a protocol. So whereas REST can use SOAP because it's a concept.
Okay.
Got it?
SOAP cannot use REST, but REST can use SOAP. Okay.
It's a concept. There is no limitation. There is no.
Yeah.
Uses a services interface to express the business logic.
Mm.
So whereas REST uses the URI to express the business logic.
Mm.
SOAP is based on the API called JAX-WS. Means this is the API name JAX-WS. For REST, it is called JAX-RS. But it's have a API name conversion. This is JAX-WS is SOAP API name, and for REST, it is JAX-RS is the REST API name. SOAP defines standards to be followed very strictly. So a lot of rules and regulations when you need to work with the SOAP. Whereas the REST do not have that much of like too many standards as such. Okay.
Okay.
So obviously REST is going to be more easy than development than compared to SOAP. And SOAP requires a more bandwidth and the resources than the REST, whereas the REST requires less bandwidth than the resources than the SOAP.
Okay, so we use REST most of the time.
Yes. There are some projects we go for SOAP, but it depends on the project, architectural design, whatever they wish. But you can go for both the things. Okay. Also, this is how we can work with the SOAP and how we can work with the REST, so that you'll get much clearer on like when, so how to implement both of them. Okay.
But you said that SOAP is a protocol and REST is some architectural design kind of thing.
Architectural style.
Oh, architectural style. So what is the use of this SOAP? This REST is means so we can use the design or anything else. That.
So both are types of web services. You can write SOAP web services and you can write RESTful web services. So by the definition, so as the name is Simple Object Access Protocol, it is classified as a protocol and classified as an architectural style. But both are two different types, and from programmatic perspective, you can work with both of the services.
Okay.
Okay. So
okay.
do not think that it's a because only my protocol and I have to only invoke as a protocol, so I do not need to write any logic. So you can write the logic in both the cases.
Oh, okay, okay.
So and as I said, there is WSDL file. This WSDL, so this is the key part. WSDL. So this WSDL is so for any, if you are sharing your web services to anyone, usually they should know the WSDL. Means how the service has to be known and what all the information. So all the information about the particular service is going to be detailed about in the web service WSDL file. So it is like a simple file, right? Writing this WSDL file is, I cannot say difficult, but it's going to be like more messy kind of thing. It's kind of like somewhat like writing that XML file itself is huge file it is. So now we have a editors, right? Eclipse editor, and there are various tools. So this WSDL file is going to be generated automatically. So what you have to do? First, we need to write the Java class. So you can mark that Java class as web services, and it is going to be generated automatically this file. So I'll show you how it is generated. So how complex it is. Got it?
Okay.
I'm going to create a separate project for SOAP, because when you work with the SOAP, like when you generate it as a web services, it's going to generate a lot of projects in the background. Okay, so it's creating separate project. So right now we have only 3 in the left side actually. This is a project, this is a project, this is server, right? I'm going to create a regular project. You can name it anything, so I'm just named it as open.
No.
Same way, I'm just creating a simple project, nothing else. Just creating a type. Any name you can give. Inside that, I'm going to write one class. Blank class, nothing else. So, I just created a method which is having sayHello method and SumOf method. So somebody calls sayHello method by passing his name. This is just going to send a message that welcome to so and so person name. The SumOf number is a method. If you pass 2 numbers, it's going to just sum. Okay. I created 2 functionalities, right? Assume that this is just a flight arrivals and flight departures. So I just added 2 methods like that. Now I'm going to convert my class as a web services now. As of now, this is simple class, right? Which serves methods. If somebody invokes this method, it performs something.
Okay.
Right? And we are going to mark this as a convert this as a. In Eclipse, it's very easy to convert this as web services. So right click. So here web services, right? So from here, I'm just going to say next. So first part you need to tell us. So we have selected Java class, right? You need to inform that this is my Java class. So hello world is there in SOAP demo. This is the Java class, right? So I'm just giving this is for this Java class. I would like to convert this Java class as a web services now. So just enable these two things, which are just going to enable all the information. So from here, I'm going to do just next, and nothing else I'm not supplying.
Okay.
So everything will done automatically. The left side, if you observe, it's going to generate some projects. The left side for the Explorer panel.
Okay.
I'm saying next, not saying anything. Part of this process, it's going to create a WSDL file and a couple of projects also. Going to create everything is going to be done. Automatically when the background server is starting. Just opening same thing in the browser. That's inbuilt browser, right? So I'm just opening the external browser. So left side you see how many files are created. This is actual project, pure project. It has created a plan, right? And this project, and all there are many things that are built in this one. So there is one more project is created. The project is created on top of it automatically, and it's mapped everything.
So after the next we got that methods and inputs, right?
Automatically generated. Here, so what is this user interface? This is not coded as. This is generated automatically when you wish to generate. So when you wish to convert your web services as a service, so when you wish to convert your service as a web service, it has generated a lot of things. So here, with the method list, sum of numbers and say hello. These are your two methods. So other things are general. You get endpoints, set endpoint, get hello world is your Java and clear information. So these are the methods. So what this screen indicates that it has generated everything and it has given a test screen where you can test your services. Suppose if I click on say hello. So here inputs and the results, right? So any method. So automatically, suppose this method is having single parameter, right? Here I'll get one field which is going to allow me to enter only one field. So submit, I'll get the result here. For this method, if I click on this one, I'll get two fields. So let's just show me that. So here is having only one field, right? So hence my text field. So I'll say. So when I say invoke, what actually happens is it is going to invoke this method in the background. Okay. The message that you are going to get here, that you are going to see here because it's a result. Welcome to the business. So we are testing web services now. So web services created in the background in Java, and we are invoking that using a URL, and we are testing it. If you click on sum of methods is two parameters, right?
Okay, so these are the default methods, so you are using that, okay.
Yes. So here this is a testing function where you can test your service. Right? We have created a Java class and we have converted this Java class to web services. And I convert this as Java class, all the necessary things happen in the background. It's created a project and it has stuff to look at it. So this completely created automatically. This is a kind of a test project which is created as part of the Eclipse. So the configuration in the background.
So the SOAP is going to use all the classes in. just what we wrote in there in Java.
Yes. So this is one Java class I gave information, right?
Mm.
This is when I create a new web service, I have selected this Java class, right?
Mm.
Whatever the methods which are there in the Java class. So right now I have only different 2 methods. It might be 10 methods. So for all those 10 methods, it will create automatically in the So
Okay, in this methods part, automatic all the methods will be displayed.
all the methods will be displayed, and it's going to allow you to provide your test service where you can test with them. This is standard Java class, right? Using the standard method, you can test. But if you are converted as a web service, you need to test something there whether the service is working or not.
Just we wrote only the soap in that method, the Java class. Yeah, just we specified. Okay.
Couple of methods, that's all. Nothing else we did.
Okay.
Simple methods to fit the details, right?
Mm.
But this is Java class. We have converted as a web services. How the conversion happen using Eclipse.
So we did nothing special. The soap here. Just we wrote this welcome to soap. That's it, right?
Welcome. So this is the logic. This is a place you can write any logic inside.
Okay, but this say hello.
Yes.
What the thing is exactly I didn't got what we specified regarding the soap in here to work like that.
No,
I mean,
no, do not confuse with this soap. This soap is just information. So with this word, nothing is happening. This is just information. Actually,
so all the thing you did.
We write multiple methods like this in your Java class. Each method performs some specific logic. So we would like to mark this class as a web service. So that's what we did. All of all is having a lot of methods. But I want my class to be converted as web services so that it can access from the server services. So we converted this server. Do not confuse with this word. So when I add this word, that doesn't mean that because this is soap service, this is just information. I'm just pulling it. Just a print message.
Okay, just we converted our Java class into web services.
Exactly, into soap web services.
Oh, by that just you went into something others and you did everything next, right?
Exactly. So it has done everything in the background on the left hand side. So now if I go to the WSDL file, how I referring to XML file, right? All over world WSDL, where exactly it is existing, all over and all those things. Did we create it now, right?
Yeah, just now we created. That's why you got it. Okay, yeah.
Go to source. How many methods we added? Only 2 methods.
2.
So 152 lines it has generated just for that. Let me take into the detail. But when look at it,
so where we got created this hello world dot WSDL WSDL.
It's an all web project.
Oh, it's an hello web project. Okay.
Yes. It created automatically. We haven't created as part of it created for us.
Okay, hello. Okay.
So first impression, if you look at it, it's kind of a little messy, right? But the details we can easily understand. The sum of numbers is one of the method, which is having a sequence. When I say sequence, order. First parameter, second parameter, which directly integer. Okay. Sum of numbers response. So the sum of response is going to return a string value, right? So sum is a plus b, right? That's what you're writing. Say hello method. Say hello method is going to take a string. The response is going to give us a string response. It's having a request object, it's going to have the request object. So like that, each and every information about those things are going to be informed here. Finally, this is your request and this is a response for sum of number. So you have 2 methods, right? Both the methods, what are the things which are required for the compare. Main tags are message, port type, depending on the binding, and the service. These are the main tags. So these are the 4 types which are going to be replicated for each and every method that we configure. So
okay.
Would have the information of the port related information of how this process is going to be involved. So this is the URL going to convert.
Mm.
Whenever
Mm.
we say invoke in the background, please go to call this particular service. Clear, no?
Clear.
We have a class. Inside that you have marked as lot of method. So I would like to convert my class to web services. So that's what we did here. We just go to the file new and from there
Yeah.
to the web services. So we just provided what is with our class, you try to convert the web services. After that, it has taken automatically everything, right? Never it has stopped.
Okay.
Here.
Clear.
This is the implementation with respect to the SOAP. Here, this WSDL is very massive file. You do not need to. Nowadays, if you write this, it's going to be like definitely we might make a mistake, but instead of we study further, we can use kind of editors where it helps us in generating this service.
Okay.
Right? Instead of we studying it. So it's a simple thing. So primarily those are the information. If you know how to understand, then it will be easy.
Okay.
At least in the binding, port, and the message is the 4 main types. Clear?
Clear.
The rest. So for the rest, it's very easy when compared to the SOAP.
SOAP, okay.
So we do not need to go for this kind of a WSDL kind of a configuration. Okay? For the rest, it's not going to generate any projects, but to make it as separate, I'm going to just create a separate project.
Okay. Project.
I need a web project, so I'm creating it. So because if it is a web project, you know, right, when you are working with servlets, I told you one option. Generate Servlet, so you need to enable this, right? Just need to enable this so that we can only this option is available only if you need some information to be configured in that file.
I didn't got it.
Web.xml, if you remember when you are working with the servlets,
Yeah.
they have configured something, right? Compile, any kind of information related to web, right? Context. If you need something to be configured, then enable this option so that it will create a file for you, you can write the logic.
Okay.
Enabling this, so what you have to do, you need to create that file by following the structure. So instead, if you get the template, writing logic is easy, right? Just use this option.
Okay.
So Representational project is created. Right?
Right.
So this is the place we are going to write it. So the rest will work with this. Okay.
Okay.
I think can you give me 2 minutes?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, at the same
Yeah,
time I
that's
have to overlap with some personal tasks.
oh, that's okay.
Yeah, with the rest. So I just create a project, nothing else we did, right?
Mm.
So I'll create a package in the same way. In order to work with the REST project, so we need to have the external software to download.
Okay.
So to work with the REST, so JERESY is one of the implementation. Let me write the word. JERE. JERESY is one of the implementation of REST. Okay. So
Okay.
we are going to use the same JERESY software to work with the REST.
Mm.
So I'll show you the URL where we can download it. So this is a place where you can download. So I'll give you that. Software means obviously it's going to be most of the things with the Java is like we need to have the jar file, and that jar file you are going to place it in your project. It doesn't require some installation as such.
Mm.
We will be having the version. Okay, just download this file and we'll be using that. So I'll show you the file. Okay. Let's see. Once you download this, these are the files you're going to get. So these files you need to have it in your configuration in your web, in lib folder of your web to work with them. Okay. I'm just copying all these things. All the files I'm copying because when you're working with the web services with REST and the web project, it expects those files to be at the runtime. So we need to copy them in a lib folder of your web project. I just copied all those things. So far, like
Okay.
I'm just referring this project build path, right? Directly, I'm giving a build path to any jar file directly,
Yeah.
right? Because this is a web project, runtime it expects. So in the runtime it expects, we need to copy them into, we need to place them in the lib folder as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after placing them, you can directly also add them in the class path as usual.
Okay.
So for like I used to refer them externally. So jar file is only at that folder. I'm just referring from here. The rest in the web project. So I'm going to copy them into project as well. Now we'll go to create a Java class. So we'll convert that as a web service using the here we are going to have any methods in the same way.
Okay.
Mostly we'll be using annotations here. So, public So now you see like a lot of annotations, right?
Yeah. Path get.
So wrong object imported. So else I'm not getting the. We just created a method and we converted that using a service. So here, if you remember the servlet's also something here, right? On the top, web servlet is the annotation that we have used, right? On the top of Java class, we have used something here like this. So this indicates that from the URL, you can call this Java class using this name. When you use this name, it calls this Java class. This name / welcome / something. If you call, it's going to call this method. Understood? The annotation that we configured. The annotation name is path. So I'm telling that path of this Java class is this one.
Okay, hello service.
Hello service is the name. If you call as hello service, it's going to give a request to hello world in the background.
Okay.
So you can give both the names same, but it's a service, right? Hence we classify it as hello service. But you can have any name.
So to work hello world, we are giving hello service path.
Yes. So I'm saying that the path of this one is hello service. So if you call hello service as a path in the URL, the browser URL, it's going to call this Java class.
Okay, background. Okay.
Yes, and the hello service / welcome / something if you give, it's going to call this method because path for this one is / welcome something, right? So this method is inside this particular class, right? So obviously, if you want to talk to this method, obviously you have to call hello service / welcome. That means here you are able to visualize the URL, right? So if you want to talk to this, suppose if you have one more method, you want to talk to that method, if you say buy, so hello service / buy is going to call that particular method.
So this method is inside hello world class. So we need to give.
Obviously, if you want to talk to any method, you need to talk to first. You need to get the class. Inside that, you have to talk to a method, right?
Yeah, unless we don't get the class instance, we can't. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. Here, first we are getting hello service / welcome. Then it's going to talk to
/ welcome. Okay.
Yes, right. So suppose if you give welcome word here, suppose, and if you place hello service here, so what happens? You have to talk to this particular method as welcome / hello service.
Yeah, got it.
It's just a name. How you go? I'm trying to show you I'm trying to visualize the URL how it is.
Understood.
So whatever the coding we are done with the REST service. Only thing is that so we had downloaded some software, right? We need to configure. We need to tell a Servlet configuration that this is your REST service using a JERESY. Okay. So that web.xml. So my simple configuration, and that's one-time configuration. So configuration is having a lot of things, but it's one-time configuration. So I'm just lifting it from there. If I open, nothing will be here. So I copied from here to here. Okay, let me talk about this, right? So there is a servlet called Servlet Container. Where it is there? It is there in your JERESY software that you downloaded. Okay. Package name if you see JERESY.so and so something means obviously it was not downloaded by us. It is downloaded by JERESY guys only, right? So whatever the servlet which is there in that JERESY, you are configuring in your web project. Means you are configuring a servlet which is there in the JERESY. Okay. And from here to here, if you observe, those are parameters, init parameter. Do you remember init parameter, servlet config?
Yeah.
So for this servlet, he has given this init parameter and the value. This init parameter value. init parameter value. That means those are the inputs which are required for this particular servlet class. Hence, they are configured as init parameters.
Okay.
Understood?
Understood.
What is the main init parameter that you need to know is your package you need to be supplied. This, in case if you are working different package. So here, this is the property. So init parameter, for that you need to supply package in which folder you are having your REST services. So when you start the server, ideally what happens, this servlet is going to be loaded automatically. As part of that loading, it checks like what is the package and goes to that package, and all the RESTful web services which are there in the package will be loaded and ready for use. Got it in the layman terms?
Okay. So whichever class is having the REST web service,
that annotations and everything related to REST, it's going to load all those things and make them available for the ready to use. They'll try to load all those things.
So we should specify that in any parameter here.
Yes. If you're not mentioning, if you're having some other parameter, some other path, you need to, what are the path you are, mostly we use only one path, right?
But you did not specify it. Automatically generated all these things, right?
This is not generated, this is copy paste.
Okay.
From this notepad I copied, right? I told you, right?
Oh yeah.
So one time configuration in front of you I copied.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I wanted to show you the open thing, like this, if you type differently, you make a mistake because it's only one time. We'll configure only one thing. If you're working some other project in future tomorrow, you copy, dump everything. Just the package name, whatever you used that day, the package configure. The rest everything is same.
Okay, got it.
Rest are the default things which you do not worry. So ideally, what it requires, we are supplying. So it requires package name of my rest. I'm just this.
Okay.
Mostly I follow the same naming convention. Tomorrow also, if I'm teaching to someone else, I follow the same name. So hence I copied that content with the same name. But ideally it will not have anything here. So when if you download from the net or the something, so you might find some other name because they are given us some example with some other package name. So here the package name indicates that where the services are. It can be any package name. In our case, the package name is so and so because this is the folder which is having, right? Clear?
Clear.
We just created a Java class, so we marked the annotation that how this has to be invoked. There is a get message I created. For that, I'm passing a parameter. So what are the parameter I'm just pushing? I'm just saying welcome message, but ideally I can write any logic here. Right? This is a method which is performing some logic and returning something. Here, response.status. So 200 means in the web world, means when you are working with the web related projects, web related, any kind of web, 200 means success. 404, you might have seen 404 page not found in many websites, right?
Yes.
So 404 is
404, yes.
Yes, is a page not found. So for each and every request, let's say if I say www.google.com, it goes to Google server. In the internally, it gives as a 200 as a return value to your browser. Indicates that 200 means success. Your request is successfully completed.
Okay.
So this is the method that we have created, right? So obviously you need to tell that everything, right? So I'm saying this method is success method. So I'm saying I'm returning 200. If contact status is 200, and just return that object. So what are the output object I'm just building here? I'm returning that object. Okay. So 404 is a page not found. 500 means internal server. These are the standard web related codes, not only specific to Java in general. Okay. Now we are done with almost configuration. We just need to restart it. And one more thing here. So this is the style we have configured in web.xml. But when we learned in XML, do you remember when we learned in servlets? Do you remember? I told you. So we are going for annotations, and in the olden days we used to configure everything manually like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is
so that's why we went to the XML web server.
Text. So this is we need to configure everything. So servlet servlet name, servlet class. So if you have any init parameters, you can supply all those init parameters, and the servlet mapping. So servlet mapping indicates that the servlet name and the URL pattern. This URL pattern indicates that how you wish to invoke this particular servlet. All these things were replaced with the annotation called web servlet. Do you remember? Let me show you that to just correlate. There is a project. Yeah, web servlet is the annotation which is taking care of all those things.
Yeah.
In the web servlet, we are just giving a name how to access this particular servlet. The same way, to access this guy, this is the URL.
Okay.
Understand?
Rest.
URL pattern is nothing but
Rest.
So we are giving something. So because it's rest, we are given a rest. Rest. You can have anything here. This here you are mentioning that how. So if I enter so and so URL only, invoke this particular servlet. That's what information is. URL pattern. So if somebody calls some URL // something, then it invokes this particular servlet. So this is the servlet which is created by JERESY. So that means JERESY related Java classes are going to be invoked when I call my class with this URL. Means now I'm going to, how do I call? If I want to talk to this particular guy, I'll call it as HTTP : slow and so all those things. After that, I'll say rest / hello service / welcome / some name. Then I'll get the response from here. Okay, I'm starting the server. If there are no issues, it's going to start. Otherwise, it's going to end up with errors. So we'll see. Like it will show somewhere the project scanned. No issues. I'm just to show something else. So that's it. Server started successfully. To search. Yeah. There's some source. Because there is a multiple projects in this, right? So it has given C to complete. Let me show you one thing. One thing we missed. Any guesses? So we have created a web project, right?
Yeah.
So web project has to be added to server.
I did.
Rightly, add or remove. So you have to tell. You have created. You did everything. You have to add this to server, right?
We did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anything, if it is a web project, you have to map it to server. Then only it will load. Right?
Yes.
I'm checking. I'm looking for some message. I could not see that message. Then I realized. And this is like a one-time configuration. First time when you work with that project, then only configure. After that, you do not need this option at all. Hence, we might use very less.
Yeah, the configuration itself is a little bit difficult. This servlet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this Tomcat installing this also it takes some time.
Exactly.
I got a lot of confused in that.
But once you get habited, it will be easy.
Yeah, first when I did by my own, so it was very confusing and lot of
Okay, so
errors.
that's how like you express. Sometimes you get errors, but once you start analyzing that, then you'll get more experience than directly
Mm-mm.
answer. But
Yeah.
it will give us some challenges like the initial setup. I was expecting searching for this message earlier. So
Oh.
scanning for so and so. That means
Mm.
so the servlet what the configured in the JERESY in the web data account, it
Mm.
has loaded this particular way.
Mm-mm.
Earlier we forgot to map it to server. So if it is not mapped to server, so obviously we cannot expect that it's loaded, right? It was not
Oh
loaded.
yeah.
Hence I was missing this option. I was searching here and there.
Oh, okay.
It's loaded.
So you did not map it to the okay server. That's
Massive.
why. Mm.
So it's mapped everything now. Now the service also started.
Mm.
To invoke that. Invoking is as usual. What is the project name? Rest demo.
Mm.
Host. Rest demo slash from here picture starts. What are the URL rest? Because I've classified as this one in the configuration, right? Rest. And here the hello service.
Mm.
And here it's saying welcome. Okay. It's going to call a hello service inside that welcome method. Inside that, it's passing a parameter. So whatever the message from that, it's going to get. So welcome to rest.
Mm.
And where you are getting from here. So in case you want to double check, I'm just starting the server. So we just updated something here, right?
Mm.
So URL once again after the local host, and after this we know, right, the project name, right?
Mm. 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 Yes.
We call it as a layman terms context path.
Mm. Mm.
Then URL pattern. So rest slash any URL rest slash something it gives invoke this particular servlet. So what we give rest slash hello service and welcome to so and so. From
Mm.
all these things happening, so all these people we configured in here. Rest.
Mm. Mm.
So let me start my server. If I give wrong URL, what happens? Obviously, it cannot find anything.
Mm. Mm.
Right?
Mm.
Because suppose if you give some hello service one,
Mm. Mm.
what happens? It cannot find the particular accessibility. Right?
Okay.
The URL whatever we are given is not available, right?
Yeah, that's why it won't give.
So, I think if we give right, I just corrected once again.
Mm. Mm.
The URL itself, whenever it's a rest only, then only the valid is URL. Got it?
Mm. Mm.
Clear the coding wise if you observe for both rest and some. So the rest is kind of like you are working with simple Java API, right? Once you configure something like this, you are
Mm.
simply like invoking, and this is one-time configuration throughout your project. Once you do this,
Yeah.
so you are
Mm.
done with that. And
Mm.
you can write something like any number of classes you can work, but with the SOAP,
Mm.
you generate a WSDL file, and here there is no picture of WSDL, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the configuration is.
Got it.
Clear?
Clear.
Any doubts?
Mm.
In top anything so that we have discussed today?
Clear.
1 second. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Any doubts from the beginning as of today, just officially?
No, clear. Clear.
Maybe anything if you want to like to recapture.
No, I mean right now I have no doubt, but if once I do get, I will mail you.
Yeah, but definitely, as I told you earlier, right? So if you have any
Yeah.
doubts, later point of time also when you practice, definitely we might face, but
Okay.
because as part of challenges in case if you face,
Yeah.
first time, so definitely you can send an email.
Yeah.
I'll definitely, so I'll just respond to those emails. So based on my experience. If I can able to resolve, I'll provide
Yeah.
solution.
Okay.
So with this,
Sure.
like normally we have almost done with the complete course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And after completion of 50%, we have sent an email, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way, we need to send an email now with 100% just to inform that officially that
Oh,
we are done with official complete 100%.
okay. So, okay, I will send it now
Yeah,
to them.
I'll just log in.
Yes, I will tag you in that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just logging in. You can send them in the meantime.
Okay.
Just we need to tell them that 100% is completed.
Okay. Just like last time, just I need to CC you, right?
Yes, in the same way, the email ID you're having, right?
Yeah.
If you want, I can ping you that email ID.
Yeah. I do have that.
You have, right? So just reply to that email and you can say that. But this is just, as I told you, this is just a formal completion, but you can always reach out to me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm logging into my email. Meantime, you can draft the email.
Okay. So, how could I? I mean, I should.
No,
Sorry.
no, I'm asking for the email.
No, no. Just you're asking me to put the email to them, right?
Yes, yes.
No, I was thinking how to skip from this. I think I should leave the meeting, right?
Yeah, okay. I think you can stop the. I'll stop the screen sharing otherwise.
Yeah, well, because I'm not able to get out from it. That's the
Okay,
reason.
okay.
Okay. I think I will stop and I will send. Okay. Why? Because I'm not able to get out from this.
Okay, okay. Please ping me on Skype, so I'll be online. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I will send it
Okay,
now only. Just I'm not able to get out from the screen. That's why.
okay. Then we'll end the meeting, and but we'll be on Skype. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Thank you very much, Harita. All the
Yeah.
best.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.